I am Police Lieutenant General ARCHIE GAMBOA, and effective today, I assume the duties and responsibilities as officer in charge of the Philippine National Police to ensure continuity of command as the Chief PNP, Police General Oscar T. Albayalde, goes on a non-duty status ahead of his mandatory retirement on November 8, 2019. As officer in charge, I take the responsibility to manage all activities of the PNP Command Group, ably assisted by the 10 territorial staff that exercise specific administrative and operational functions with the respective operating arms among the national support units. With this responsibility, I assure the continuous implementation of all ongoing campaign plans on internal security, anti-criminality, anti-illegal drugs, and anti-corruption, in line with the national priorities and direction of President Rodrigo R. Duterte, who is expected to appoint the 23rd Chief PNP in the coming days. All issuances, designations, and policy directives will remain in status quo until further remanded. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And may we now have the first question? Church Cahiles, sir.
Sir, good morning and congratulations, sir. This, well, I don't know if this kind of day today, but it's good to hear from you that you will continue and will strive to keep your organization intact, sir, despite everything that's happening. Sir, una-una, sir, siguro, you can tell us yung naging change of commander, turnover kanina umaga, sir. Yung mga biling ba sa General Albayalde yung
It was just a very simple turnover because as a matter of, by operation of law, being the second in command, and in effect, non-duty status na si General Albayalde, so I will take over. And the turnover a while back, which was very simple with Secretary Ano of the DILG, it was just to give guidance. And of course, the Secretary thanked the services that PNP Chief rendered to the Philippine National Police. And a very general guideline to me on continuing what the previous Chief PNPs have implemented and probably manage the PNP on its day-to-day activities. It is very important that an officer in charge is designated for continuity. And as a matter of fact, in a few minutes, the National Police Commission, as a collegial body, is going to issue a resolution defining therein the limited authority I would have as officer in charge.
Alright, kasi nga po, yung sa next question ko, because you know yung OIC kasi limited power na, unlike the Chief PNP, especially PRESSCON, ang mga PNP. So, wala naman pala natin kami, sir. Kung ano man yung...
Yes.
But may idea na po ba tayo, sir, kung ano yung mga aspects, sir, ng trabaho as Chief PNP, yung medyo hindi pa muna mag-libre as OIC?
Well, basically, disbursement of appropriations coming from the General Appropriations Act of 2019 and that of trust receipt funds of the Philippine National Police. These are all required because we operate in the PNP based on the maintenance and other operational expenses that we receive based on the GA authority. And as a regulatory function of the PNP on control of explosives, firearms, it is also included in the delegation, and of course appoint salary grade 24 and down of the non-uniform personnel, and to include police commission officers with the rank of lieutenant colonel down, because we well know that third level are upon approval of the president. And then of course, the basic day-to-day authority to give directives to our operating units Although independently, the different police regional offices in the national support units can operate in their own respective capacity. So generally, these are the limited authority given to me as officer in charge of the PNP.
Thank you, sir.
Mark?
Good morning, congratulations, sir. Sir, pag-iligaw lang dun sa term na yun. Maliwanag nga po sa amin itong non-duty status po na yung Sir Alberto.
Okay. The non-duty status is usually availed of by any retiring officer. Not only limited to police commission officers, but as well as police commission officers. The non-duty status traditionally is being availed of by that respective individual who's going to retire to prepare the documents. You know, there are a lot of clearances that are to be prepared because officers are assigned in different units. So there's a necessity to give him ample time to prepare the appropriate documents and probably transition to his retirement para pag nag-retire siya, hindi siya mabibigla. Now, take the case of General Bayade. It is within the framework of non-duty status. Meaning to say he can avail of it. And he availed of it. No? And clearly, in his statement, which I think you all have a copy, he already stated why he availed of the non-duty status.
Nagkaroon po kayo ng pag-usap kasama po si Secretary Eduardo Arnyo. Ano po yung naging usapan, sir? Kamusta po yung pagpapalitan po ng powers at
Hindi naman bago sa akin si Chief, no? Because I have been his Chief of Staff and I have been his ECO. So, mabilis lang yung transition because he knows that I already know my job as officer in charge, no? Kasi nagkasama kami. And ang ano talaga doon is the secretary, no? As I think already released to the press also, that at no time did he lose any did he cast any doubt in the integrity of the chief PNP. And, you know, yun yung parang relief din ni General Bayade that despite of what happened, despite the Senate hearing and its implications as projected by other people, ganun ang sinabi ni SIG sa kanya. So, ganun lang basically ang nangyari doon sa turnover. As a matter of fact, the turnover was just very simple, just to ensure that the secretary would, what the secretary views on the status of the chief PNP, and he really respected the decision of the chief PNP to go on a non-duty status.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Ramon.
Hello, Sir Ramon Alamo from Raptor, sir. I understand that this is a very important time for transition. So I wanted to ask, how abrupt is this stepping down of the Philippine National Police Chief? Did he let the command know in advance, or is this warning thing? How early did you know? How early did you know that PNP Chief Ramayana was stepping down as the OIC now?
It's quite personal, but let's take it. As soon as he announced it and rendered his speech, we learned of it.
You only learned of it after the announcement?
Yes,
You-
yes.
Okay, sir. Yung investigations ring na Napolcom, is it still ongoing after this? Kasi si General Anyo, sabi niya mayroong investigation na Napolcom on the fate of General Albayade. Is it now moot because he is on leave? What will happen?
Well, the primary consideration in any case is jurisdiction. Not unless the chief PNP retires. The National Police Commission has jurisdiction over his person, and they can investigate. As to the details of that, please ask the chairman of its disposition.
Sir, you're now OIC. Did the President there speak to you with the marching orders? What should you do about this person?
Well, the instruction of the President is that I'll be OIC while he's looking for the permanent chief PNP and continue the work that the PNP should do on a daily basis.
When was this conversation with Mrs. Paul?
Basta nag-usap kami.
Thank you, Ramon. Next question. Alfred? Yeah, Alfred, do you have? Any other question from the media? Meron pa? George.
Sir, kamusta po yung yung feel ng
PNP right now, especially that your PNP relinquished this post and now you're taking over parang abroad kasi expect natin sa 2020. Kamusta po yung makaramdam ng feelings sa organization right now?
Well, the PNP is very dynamic. There's no question we're supposed to adjust. And the leader or the leadership in the PNP is just one thing. There are still a lot of things that should be looked into. So hindi naman ibig sabihin na nagpalit yung chief, biglang bumila, etc. That we say, oh, stop tayo muna. Kasi mag-reflect muna tayo and then we'll think of things how it's going to be. We expect these things to happen. And we are and we should be ready with these kind of things happening in the organization.
I think it's important for the PNP or like on television. One is your message to the given this abrupt transition to the Philippine National Police this morning.
Yes, I'd like to address to the entire Philippine National Police, to our elements, to our police commission officers, to our non-commissioned officers, to the non-uniformed personnel. This is a temporary sequence of events that's going to happen in the next few days. This is a transition, but we should not be remiss of our job. Let's do our job, you know your job, on a daily basis, what you're supposed to do. And let not the other controversies affect us. Let's continue to work, which is to serve and to protect our people.
Thank you, sir. Sir, on other issues, April, please, yes.
Sir, isa po po sa mga witness dun sa conversation case mo is 6 million lang daw po yung which is dapat is 25 million po. This may allegations po na ang iba po ay ginawa po ng officers po. Meron po po investigate po
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's an inquiry coming from the House of Representatives kasi kanila yung nag-emanate yung first raising of funds for that. And currently, the Criminal Investigation Detection Group is preparing the appropriate documents to show where the money went. But basically, when there are reward money, it should go to the informants.
Pero kung paano para sa PRESCON po na kung gumamit po ng mga government officials po, ito masasabi ng PNP. Gano'n po ba kasi ito yung PNP sa pagpapatupad yung PRESCON po sa panahon?
Yes, under the law, there are only 4 who are authorized. Wang-wang, no? President, the Vice President, the Senate, President, and the Speaker of the House, and 5 pala, no? And the Chief PNP. So other than that, of course, ambulances, fire trucks, on official function. Then those are the strict limitation of the law. And it should be properly implemented, especially with traffic that we have now in Metropolis.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. It is very important that we go over the deliberation of the Senate. Me, for myself, have personally watched the Senate inquiry. And I think there are a lot of things which the senators are pressing on amendments of policies. Bakit tumagal ang implementation? Bakit na-downgrade? And what the PNP is going to do is we're going to get a transcript of this and himay-himayin namin. Because for sure, there is really a big avenue to revisit our policies na baguhin so that these things won't happen again.
Do you think that one of those campaign that says that the PNP was himself involved in
the investigation that the Senate has conducted happened in 2015. way before this administration. And as part of the internal cleansing of the PNP, we have accounted those that they call ninja cops, even 2016 pa. And we kept on monitoring. As a matter of fact, we will prepare a press briefing probably next week. We're going to prepare and show you how the internal cleansing of the PNP went since 2016. And probably we can prepare a briefing specifically on those identified as ninja cops. I have been the chairman of the Oversight Committee on Internal Cleansing, and I have always emphasized this. But mind you, if we present the statistics, so much has been done already. Marami na tayong nagawa, and we will present that probably next week.
So tuloy pa.
Of course, no let up.
Thank you, sir.
And a fair warning to all those who are involved in it.
Sir, good morning, Sir Jen Maligo, sir, from PNP. Sir, isa po kayo dun sa mga sinasabing nasa shortlist ng mga susunod na PNP chief. May I just know, sir, your personal reaction to it?
Matagal naman akong kandidato na. No, I've been 3-star since when? September of 2018, I think. So it's but natural that by reason of my rank, I'm an automatic candidate. But of course, it spells out the difference now that, of course, I'm number 2. I'm still 3-star. But equally qualified also are General Cascolan, who is now the number 3, and General Lesan, who is now the number 4. And all is fair, I think.
Sir, regarding po dun sa pagwalas ba kay Vice Mayor Slay, sir, kay Vice Mayor Charlie Luzon, pinakamalang, sir, release for further investigation ng apat na suspect, sir.
Nagbubutik daw ako.
Ano po nangyari dun, sir, reaction?
Ako medyo, ang alam ko lang no, na RFI siya, pag meron kasing reason, may specific reasons for further investigation. And I still have to go through the details of it if you want a very good interpretation. Pero basically, hindi naman i-grant yun ng fiscal. He has no legal basis in telling that it should be RFI.
Sir, sorry, last question. So, you adopted the squad concept of PNP. Yung nagbabayol study tayo, sir. Pero para sa NCRPO, parang yata siya ginagawa.
Yes, alam nyo, the PNP by the end of the year would be around 205,000. And the question of close supervision of subordinates is there. Hence the resort of the squadding system. The squadding system would deal on accountability and responsibility into smaller units. And we even go beyond our function as PNP officers. That's why it would also involve even family matters. So we form small groups headed by a responsible squad leader so that he will, from day to day, on a day-to-day basis, he would be accountable and responsible on what his squad does or fails to do.
Hindi lang siya, sir, parang Bible study. Parang may-
No. There's more of that because punta tayo sa internal cleansing. Internal cleansing is divided into 3 different committees. Preventive, punitive, and restorative. Preventive, those who are vulnerable. No? Parang nakita kasi namin, the vulnerability comes with those who exercise regulatory functions, like traffic policemen, those who conduct investigation. So yung parang meron siyang exercise, meron siyang discretion. They are the ones who are vulnerable. So we concentrate our preventive to them, on them. No? And then punitive is of course, ito yung mga dapat talagang kasuhan at kailangan ng case build-up. So that later on, managot siya no? on what is doing. Restorative are those policemen who have already been punished, but we deemed it necessary after thorough evaluation that he can still go back to the PNP as a renewed policeman so that he can function properly.
Thank you. And lastly, Alfred, you have a question. Last question.
Sa mga PNP, matagal na gusto niya na ma-restore ang death penalty. Marami ng chiefs ng PNP ang nagsabi na they are in favor of it. But lately, yung nangyari sa alleged media capture, may mga nagsasabi, it is a major reason bakit dapat ma-restore ang death penalty.
My take could either be personal or organizational. But of course, my personal take is that there's really a need to restore. However, the Philippine National Police has always been invited as a resource person. And I think the discretion to decide whether it should be restored or not lies within the legislative branch of government, which we will respect. They are presumed to know more than us. What we can probably do is just give inputs, but ultimately, they will be the one to decide whether it should be restored or not. And we respect that.
Thank you very much, sir, for this morning.
Your first order of business today, may mga papers na
Work and sign documents. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Maayong buntag.